Yeah. When it comes to that intro, man, I have to at least wait for that Panay Sewell wide receiver 1 touchdown right there to seal the deal against them Minnesota Vikings. Yeah, that's what I like. That's what I like right there. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. This is the NFC North Talk. I am your host, Russell Wayne. We appreciate you guys listening every morning, especially Calvin and Tina, who are in there in the comments. We talk football 365 days a year. You know why? Because we don't care about baseball. We don't care about basketball or croquet or whatever the hell else it is that you play out there. We care about football. We care about football 24/7. So, and we are in the lull of the off season, but that doesn't mean that there's not some fun things to talk about. I do know that main event Mike is going to be joining us here at least via phone for the via phone sessions right here. And I don't know if you guys got a kick out of the picture I made this morning with the talk of the Dan Campbell coaching tree. Now, we appreciate you listening and watching out on Detroit Lions News, and we're broadcasting there. You can follow that page, Detroit Lions Villain Squad. You can follow our page right there. Bill the Packer fan. If you're a Packer fan, go follow Bill the Packer fan, Mike the Bear fan. It's also one of our main event affiliates right here. But what we're going to talk about today starting is this Dan Campbell coaching tree. Is that a joke? Is that a joke? That, I mean, really, a Dan Campbell coaching tree? Most people don't even believe in Dan Campbell if you're not a Lion fan.
You've had enough of that shit.
You know what I'm saying? So, man. So Robert is in there. Good morning, sir. What is going on? Main event Mike is here on the line. I don't know. As soon as they figured it out, all of our viewers went away. Oh my gosh, Mike, what happened?
They knew I was coming on. Maybe
they must have known that you were coming on. So,
bunch of scared Packer fans.
That's right. That's right. But we were sitting here talking about this Dan Campbell coaching tree. I haven't really started talking about it yet, but we're sitting. But
I'm sorry. I've got to let that soak in. The Dan Campbell coaching tree.
Yep, I got.
I've never heard it.
I know.
Isn't it just a stump at this point?
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely growing, but here's the thing is, you know, Ben Johnson and Aaron Glenn were actually offered. I know Ben Johnson for sure. I don't know if Aaron Glenn was offered a coaching job, but he pulled himself out of the running because he wanted to stay here in Detroit and continue to coach and see how far we could take this thing. Right? Is that ridiculous?
Right.
I mean,
right.
Who has ever left?
I think it also goes to the intelligence of Ben Johnson. You know, he knew that he had to grow as a coach. He had a lot of growth to do, and he said this in his own words that you know, he could take this coaching job now and then grow on the job. But then what happens? Then you get fired. So
right.
Grow first, be ready. And it just goes to the intelligence, shows the intelligence of Ben Johnson. It was probably a great move. Obviously, for the Lions, it was a great move. But for him as well in his professional career, I think we will see in time that this proved to be a great move, and we might see a future fantastic coach coming out, head coach coming out with Ben Johnson.
Yeah, I like that move, but I also like the move that he stayed because I think that this is a good situation here in Detroit because of what Brad Holmes is building from a talent perspective. And if he would have went somewhere else, I mean, really, you're taking your eggs out of that basket, and really, how far could you take this? That's what Ben Johnson had said. You know, you build this offense and you want to see it through. There's got to be a part of him that wants to see it through. Don't you think, Mike?
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah, there's unfinished business. And that's exactly what he said.
That's right. So to be a coaching tree, is it safe to say that you could say that Ben Johnson is going to be a head coach, right?
it's safe to say. I think. I mean, unless the offense regresses this year. Forbidding, without some crazy catastrophe happening, I think we're going to see Ben Johnson as a head coach within the next 2 years.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. So how are you guys doing out there? What do you guys think of this? If there's anybody out there, I'm showing 0 viewers right now, but I don't know if that's a misprint or something out there. If you can hear me, throw a comment in there, or either that, or we might not be broadcasting too well or something. I don't know. If you can hear me, throw a comment in there and let me know that I'm not just talking to myself. I don't mind talking to myself. It is what it is. But we had Tina, Calvin, and Robert were in here right at the beginning. And if you can hear me, give me a hell yeah in the comments. I don't know where we had lost everybody from.
It's okay with me, Russ. Just talking to you like this is how this whole thing started anyway.
That's right. That's right. And, I like with Aaron Glenn. Aaron Glenn had a shot to go to Arizona. I know that he interviewed for that job. And he is highly regarded as a head coaching type. Some people might even argue that he might be a better head coach than he is a coordinator, just because of the demeanor and the way that he does coach, that he is going to be able to handle that load. What do you think about Aaron Glenn being a head coach, or does he still have much to prove?
Oh, no, I think Aaron Glenn wants to be a head coach, probably more than Ben. He didn't have the opportunities that Ben Johnson did, where teams were clamoring to get to Ben Johnson. Aaron Glenn wants to be a head coach, but the Arizona Cardinals are a dumpster fire. They are even more than the Washington Commanders. The Arizona Cardinals are in disarray this year. All of their best players are gone. Their starting franchise quarterback, who they just re-signed to a monster deal, is going to be out for 2/3 of the season coming up.
Right.
Now, their best remaining player, Buda Baker, is either requesting a trade or give him a monster deal. I'm sorry. The phrasing that he used was a deal that shows that I'm part of the future plans, which is player speak for a monster deal. So they are really in bad way right now. Who in the hell would want to be the coach of the Arizona? I'd rather be the defensive coordinator of the Lions than the head coach of the Arizona Cardinals. And they do get Jonathan Gannon, who's from the Eagles, a defensive coordinator. That the Cardinals did, by the way, forfeit a lot of draft capital this year. So they will be in the driver's seat next year in the draft. So this whole year is a wash for them. If I'm Aaron Glenn, these same opportunities or better opportunities are going to be here next year when he turns around a 32 or 31st ranked defense into a top 10 defense this year. Is definitely going to open up some doors and make him a more appealing candidate.
Yeah, and the thing is, he has a lot to prove in my eyes. Okay, that's kind of where I'm at with him. I think this is a huge year for a guy like Aaron Glenn, because he wasn't gifted with the all of the talent. Like, we have been putting our resources into making this offense one of the top offenses in the league. And that, I mean, Ben Johnson has definitely reaped the benefits of that. But Aaron Glenn, just this year, bringing in all them secondary guys like, Sutton Mosley and Gardner Johnson, drafting Branch in the first round. Like, this is a influx of talent. And I think that Aaron Glenn has got to show up this year. I mean, he's got to put up, to me, I think he needs to put up a top 10 defense with all that talent in there. If you're going to boast, I'm going to go be a head coach, right?
Right. I mean, I know we give Brad Holmes a lot of credit for drafting these gems in the later rounds, right? Malcolm Rodriguez, everybody said he was too short. I mean, all these guys that Brad Holmes pulls, and we give him so much praise for his draft savvy. But let's face it, player development is huge. And all of these Detroit Lions coaches, especially the position coaches like Kelvin Shepard, they've done great jobs with these young players of developing them, turning them into starters from the background. I mean, it's one thing to identify the talent and draft them, but then to get them on the field to make an impact, the coaches, including Aaron Glenn, deserve a lot of credit for that.
Right, for sure. And then there's another name on this list, which is Kelvin Shepherd. And that was just so this was the reason that I made the graphic today, was because he's added to that mix. Like he was listed as one of Dan Campbell's like future head coach guys. He has a lot of thoughts about him moving up the coaching ranks very quickly and him being a good brain. What's your thoughts on Kelvin Shepherd?
Yeah, well, I think during Hard Knocks last year, we got to see Kelvin Shepherd in action as a coach. And what I thought was very impactful was they brought back future number 1 draft pick Jared Davis. And I love that episode of Hard Knocks when he just looked at Jared Davis, looked around the room and said, this rookie, the 6th round draft pick who's 6 foot tall, is outplaying you guys. Don't think for a minute that I won't start him if he's showing me the most in practice. And that's exactly what happened when the regular season started. He held true to his word. He put his guys on notice, and he followed through with what he said.
Very cool. Well, we want to know what your thoughts are. I mean, we're pretty cool, but we would like to hear your thoughts in the comments if you can. But Robert says that he can't comment. So I'm looking through my message. Commenting is turned off for me, at least. I don't. Well,
he's a Packer fan, so we're not missing anything. I can recap that. I can recap that for you if you want.
Yeah.
These 10 wins. Jordan Love's going to be the next great Hall of Fame quarterback. We didn't like Aaron Rodgers in the first place.
Oh man.
There you go.
Yeah, we didn't like Aaron Rodgers. I'm looking through here. I don't know what I can do. I didn't change anything, so I hope that this is just something that is hiccup just for today. So I apologize if you guys are trying to comment in there. I'm going to throw the link into the StreamYard. I don't know if this will pop up. It looks as if I don't know if there's a couple of things that were in here. I'm not sure, but anyway.
Russ, I'm in Wayne County. Is that any relation to you?
No.
Oh, okay.
Oh, I'm looking for my. Oh, did you hear that? the review?
Yeah, we got an echo.
We had an echo there for a second, but if you guys want to come in and talk live, I put the link in there. I don't know if you can get that. I wanted to throw that in there for you. And
I wanted to say something about something that I saw on the Hallis Hall report.
Okay.
Mike the Bear fan, we love him. You know, he's one of our compadres over there at the Hallis Hall report, covering all things Chicago Bears. He put out a post saying that Justin Fields has been outworking all quarterbacks in the NFL. And I take an exception with that. How the hell do you know what all the other quarterbacks are doing in it? Because your guy put something on it. I mean, do you believe that, Russ, that just outworking every quarterback in the league in the offseason?
I mean, I think it's subjective. I mean, I think that maybe he believes that. And, but no, I mean, there's tons of footage of different quarterbacks going out and, working out with, their guys and everything like that. So, I mean, it's not uncommon for guys to think that they're working. I mean, Jared Goff's out there throwing no-look passes and dropping dimes. So
yeah,
does that mean he's the best quarterback in the world because he can throw with his eyes closed? I mean, that's a little homerish if you ask me, Mike the Bear fan.
Yeah, even that pass with his eyes closed was wobbly. And the other fan bases were quick to point that out as well.
But that's all right. He threw it on a dime and it was caught. I don't care as long as the pass is caught. You can micromanage a guy that only threw 3 or 7 interceptions last year, the entire season. But this is Mike the Bear fan right here. If you believe in that Homer take right there and you're a Bear fan, this is the guy that you want to follow. And you're into Bear Down. Hallis Hall Report will be every single Wednesday during the season. I don't know if he's going to do anything during this off season because, you know, we're the ones that are out here working, Mike. We're the hardest working podcast and radio right now. The live streaming guys.
The little show that could.
The little show that could. I'm not saying we're the best show. I mean, that's subjective too. But we are the hardest working. You can't match our grind, baby. Here we are, 11 a.m. Hardcore football fans unite each and every morning, the weekday morning, Tuesday through Friday. We're here at 11 a.m. We're talking football. We're talking NFC North. I mean, we can talk about whatever you want to talk about. If you want to throw a comment in there and you want to say, I want to start talking about Packers, or you want to just jump onto the show and you want to start talking Packers, we can talk Packers. What do you think the Packers are going to do? How much confidence do you have in Jordan Love? How much confidence do you have in Joe Barry being your defensive coordinator with all of these first round picks? Joe Barry should be on your hot seat. That's what we think. You got a lot of talent there, buddy. You should be producing some defenses, bruh.
If you're a Vikings fan, how confident are you in Alexander Madison? You're losing Dalvin Cook. Before him, you had Adrian Peterson. It's almost like the Green Bay Packer quarterback lineage, right? These running backs in Minnesota, where Adrian Peterson held it down for over 10 years. And then you get Dalvin Cook, who's, 6-7 years, and they're elite. These guys are top 5 in the league every year. It's almost every category. And now you come to Alexander Madison, who, you know, if you're that good, it doesn't matter how many touches you get. It's yards per carry that is the stat that matters, and his is less than 3.8.
That's king. Yep.
How confident are you? Obviously, they got a decent offensive line. They got Christian Darrisaw, a great tackle. A couple of guys that are solid, but this isn't a world class. This isn't even a top 10 offensive line in Minnesota. How confident are you that Alexander Madison can come up with 3.8 yards per carry every time he touches the ball? I'm not confident. I'm not sold. I think Minnesota's in trouble.
I definitely think Minnesota is in trouble. And what are you going to do? What are you going to do, Minnesota? What are you going to do about it? I mean, I know that there may be a little bit of confidence. There may be some confidence in there.
I'll give you, they've won more than the Lions. They are the reigning division champions. But coming into 2023 season, things do not look good for Minnesota, no matter how they sugarcoat it or reword it. They call it it's not a rebuild. It's, what is it they say? It's a competitive retooling. Okay. They've been choking for a long time. That's why they're purple. If you've been choking for 50 years, you'd be purple too. Oh, sorry. This is the phone session. I'm supposed to be nice.
Yeah.
My bad. But if you want to hear some smack talk, you can tune in to the NFC North Open Mic every Monday night at 7 p.m. Eastern Time, where we don't pull any punches, we don't hold back, and we rip all 4 fan bases represented on the show, and all 4 fan bases let it fly. NFC North Open Mic every Monday at 7 p.m. Eastern.
Why, thank you. I appreciate that. And if you are listening right now and you want to throw your comment, in, let me know. I'm actually trying to fix some stuff right here behind the scenes. I think I found one of the problems that we had. But
all right, well, I can carry the show, Russ.
Carry it for me.
Give me a question. Just give me a topic, give me a question, and I'll do my Greg Rice impression.
Well, what I want to know is let's talk about these Chicago Bears, because there's a lot of people think that they're going to be like from their fan base that are claiming like these 13 wins. Like bring them back down to earth with that, if you could.
All right, I'm going to bring the Chicago Bears back down to earth in my Greg Rice impression. Are you ready? This is the West Coast stat master, Greg Rice, who can be seen nearly every Monday night at 7 p.m. Eastern on the NFC North Open mic. You ready?
I'm ready.
Look, man, I'm just going to be honest with you. These Chicago Bears got a long way to go. Justin Fields is dangerous, but he doesn't have enough stuff around him. They didn't address the defensive end position. They have too many holes. They don't have enough depth. And I'm just going to be honest with you, man. I really don't see the Chicago Bears mustering up more than seven wins. And to be honest, man, Khalil Herbert, he's not an every down back. Deontay Foreman coming in, I'm just going to be honest with you, man. In Carolina, he averaged 3.2 yards per carry. What makes you think that he's going to do anything better than that behind this dog crap offensive line that they've got in Chicago? They overachieved last year. They're a bottom third offensive line in the league. They're not going to be able to rush the ball outside of their quarterback making things happen. And DJ Moore is not enough to make Justin Fields a good passer.
And I like that. I like that because here's where I'm at with the Chicago Bears. Is I think you guys are going to be way better. You guys are going to be better. You made a better roster as we actually welcome the Detroit Lion news back to the program. I got to work through. I've been paying for these nice little music, uncopyrighted things, and I got to figure that out. Apparently, because so I had to delete the other broadcast, and now this is the new broadcast, and we got some Lion fans in here. And we had just got done ripping up the Chicago Bears right there. We're sorry about that for Chicago Bear fans, but we're just not believing in you as a double-digit win team. I can buy you as maybe a 7-win team, and I think that you should be happy if Justin Fields can make that type of improvement, and you guys can win. If you guys win 7 games, you guys should like that as a progression between here and there.
Right. And you know, we had Mike Reisig from the Bears Mafia on the show last week.
Yep.
And he made a prediction. He believes the Bears will win 7 games. This is a diehard Bears fan who follows the team closely from the Bears Mafia. And
right.
All we could get him to say was 7 wins. So I don't even think the real fans, I mean, the ones that pay attention, not the bandies, not the ones that, you know, want to make out ridiculous claims that, oh, he's going to be the Super Bowl MVP and the Bears are going to win it all this year. Let's be realistic.
Right. The
Bears do not have a team right now that can make it to a Super Bowl. If the Bears make it to the Super Bowl this year, I'll eat my hat.
You heard it here first. July 6th, Main Event Mike says he'll eat his hat if the Chicago Bears are to win the Super Bowl and the Justin Fields would win MVP. That's a hat-eating bet right there.
And right now I am 1-0 in my hat-eating predictions. Before the draft, everybody said we weren't going to take a quarterback. I said I will eat my hat if we don't come out of this draft with a quarterback. And not only did we do that, we came out with possibly the best quarterback prospect in the draft.
And I like that. And we hit that a little bit yesterday, and we can go back to that, especially now that we have a bunch of Lion fans that we're broadcasting into right now. Hendon Hooker. This is like an undersold pick because everybody's into the Jared Goff thing and everybody supports Goff here. I am a huge Goff supporter. I might be one of the biggest ones that there is, but I'm also a very, very big Hendon Hooker fan. And I think that was a fantastic pick for the future of this franchise. And when you look at the future of the NFC North, you're looking at this picture. You got Jordan Love, and then you got Justin Fields in the middle, and then you have Hendon Hooker on the right-hand side. Now, this isn't saying Hendon Hooker is going to replace Jared Goff this year. This is talking about 2024 and beyond right here, and this looks like the future. And I have a question mark on the Minnesota Vikings because you guys don't even know what you're going to do. So throw that in the comments. So, I mean, what do you think of the future here of the NFC North in this? I mean, if you're a Packer fan, do you believe in Jordan Love to the point? Because the organization doesn't. They gave him a pay cut for his 5th year. They could have given him his 5th year option, but no, they extended him to give him a pay cut because they don't believe in him. They're going to have 2 first-round draft picks next year. They can go get a guy.
What's the number one knock on Hendon Hooker, Russ? What's the pushback that other fans give you about Hendon Hooker? That he's too old. That he's 25 years old as a rookie. That is a ridiculous argument, and I'm going to tell you why. The average lifespan of a starting NFL quarterback is 13 to 14 years. The average lifespan of a regular NFL player is only 3 years. But that's the curve being thrown off by special teamers and undrafted free agents and such. But quarterbacks who are put into a starting role with a franchise expectation, who are drafted high, have an average lifespan in the league of 13 to 14 years. They might even be holding a clipboard for the last 7 years of their career, but they're in the league.
Right.
So Hendon Hooker, being 25 years old, could easily play till he's 35 years old. So if he sits on the bench for 2 years, we'd still have 8 years of a franchise-worthy quarterback who's fresh with not a lot of miles on him.
Oh, wow. Here's a great comment here. One Funky Lions fan from our YouTube page, which you could subscribe to. Funny how no one cried about Joe Burrow being 11 months younger than Hooker.
Great call out.
I love it. That is yeah, there you go. You get an attaboy right there.
But here's a little caveat to that, Russ. Joe Burrow, they knew was going to come in and start right away. Hendon Hooker, they say he could sit for a year, maybe 2. So now you're looking at a 27 or 28-year-old before he takes his first starting snap. So that is quite a little bit different than Joe Burrow coming in at 24 and 3 months, 24 years and 3 months old to take his first snap. So definitely a good comment, but there is a caveat to that.
Yeah, but I mean, you really have to. It's funny because I've listened to a couple of the interviews with Hendon Hooker, and it's like you can hear the media trying to drive home that he's old, right? And
yeah,
and it's funny because from his point of view, he's probably like, I'm old. Like, are you kidding? I just graduated from college. Like, and even at 28. Like when you were 28 years old, did you feel like you were 28? Like you felt like you were invincible at 28. And
bulletproof.
And here's the thing, a 28-year-old that hasn't taken a 5-year beating like the rest of the 28-year-olds in the NFL.
Right.
I mean, this is going to be if he goes out there, I mean, he's going to have 5 fresh years. And any way you slice it, there's data to prove that if you can sit a talented quarterback behind a good starter, that it pays dividends. Patrick Mahomes is on line 1. If you can get a chance to get your guy to sit, then good things can happen. Then you have 2 assets. Not only do you have a quarterback, but you also have an asset. When you're ready to move on, you can get rid of those assets for draft picks. Bill Belichick's on line 1. I mean, he is the master of that. Oh, I'll take my 5th round guy, develop him for 2 years, and trade him to an idiot for, a 2nd round pick.
And by the way, I'd like to say that Jordan Love is only 6 months younger than Hendon Hooker. and he's been sitting for 3 years.
And that's fine. I mean, that's the Green Bay Packer caveat right there, right? Oh, this is the Packer way. We let our Hall of Fame quarterbacks sit behind our Hall of Fame quarterbacks.
Yeah.
But I mean, I'm
not going to be so quick to laugh at that because it's worked. And they drafted Jordan Love when he was 21 years old. He probably wasn't ready then. We're going to find out if he's ready now.
He ain't going to be ready. I am taking this one straight up. And you decided to. We're not going to see a good. Your luck is up. Your time is up. You're done. Green Bay Packers. You're finished. You're finished.
So
Jordan Love.
right now.
I'm
call
calling
right now, Ross. Over under eight wins for Green Bay this year. Under 8.
Under. You're going to get exposed.
The Swami has spoken.
You're going to get exposed. Matt LaFleur is going to get exposed. Aaron Rodgers saved your ass. How many times did Aaron Rodgers save your ass? With your subpar defenses during the regular season, got into the playoffs, and then you can get hot with your defense. You could have crappy defenses all year long. Aaron Rodgers saved your ass. Jordan Love is not going to be Hall of Fame. He could be really, really good. No way you get 3 Hall of Fame guys. And don't act like you breed these guys. You didn't draft Brett Favre. Shut up. You did not draft Brett Favre. That's a great call. They act like they did. Yeah, you act like you just breed like you're a quarterback factory. You didn't draft Brett Favre. I mean, maybe you got lucky with Brett Favre. That's cool. You drafted Aaron Rodgers. What a great value for him to sit in that green room. And that was Aaron Rodgers has been the bane to our existence for over a decade. And then he leaves, and then this fan base treats him like he was garbage going out the door. He held us back. John Dorn.
I heard that he sent a Father's Day card to Kirby Joseph.
He sent his Father's Day card to Kirby Joseph. Oh, gosh, we got a couple comments in here. All right. So John says, so when he plays, he'll be in his prime. So, yeah, he's talking about Hendon Hooker. That's right. I'm not worried about this guy being a couple years older. This guy's a leader. You can see it in every fiber of his being. He's a 25-year-old man. Okay? He's a man. And he's going to go in with the leadership attitude. That's what type of person he is.
I'll tell you another thing about him, too. And just for the record, I support all hookers, including Hendon. But because of the ACL injury, he did not participate in the combine. But Hendon Hooker did do the combine media tour. He stopped at every table. Yep. He met with all the teams. He didn't do any physical workouts, but he did all the other stuff. And every single pundit and analyst that spoke to him walked away impressed, especially guys, well-respected guys like Bill Polian, Pat Kerwin. These guys just came away glowing about Hendon Hooker, what an incredible presence he has. And you could just tell the guy's a leader. And let's face it, he turned Tennessee right around single-handedly. Josh Heupel might get some of the credit for bringing in a new offense, but Hendon Hooker had to run an intricate offense that he had to make decisions on the fly every single play, and he rallied a subpar roster to beat Alabama and be in contention for the SEC every year he was there. So definitely good things on the horizon for this kid. And I think Detroit was the perfect landing spot for him and for us.
I mean, if you see, I saw a picture that had like all of the quarterbacks standing next to each other, and Hendon Hooker was standing next to Bryce Young. And Bryce Young looks like a midget standing next to Hendon Hooker. Hendon Hooker is a big dude, 6'4". He's probably going to play 225, 230. And he's fast.
Which is exactly Jared Goff's measurements.
And he's fast. So he will be able to. So all you Lion fans that are out there, you guys are being, we need a quarterback that can escape them. We have the quarterback. This is what I love about the Lions. Like the Brad Holmes has set us up not only for the now, like where we get to feel this now, because Goff is absolutely good enough to go to the Super Bowl, obviously, because he's been to the Super Bowl. And Hendon Hooker is the future. And you can see where you have you're going to get a reset button here in 1 to 2 years with Hendon Hooker, because Hendon Hooker's on $1.50 a year deal. Third round pick.
If you think about that, if you think about that Super Bowl with Jared Goff as well, that Super Bowl was 13-3 was the final score.
Yep.
And Brandon Cooks dropped a touchdown pass in the end zone that would have tied the game.
Yep.
This whole thing, everything might have played out completely different if Brandon Cooks had caught that ball.
For sure. Or if Todd Gurley wasn't injured. Why did the system work? Well, it's because it works together, right? You can't be a play action quarterback and then lose your play action. So, yeah, he didn't have a good Super Bowl, right? I mean, that's what happens is you have to have a deep team, and you have to have guys that can step up into the roles when guys get injured. And Bill Belichick was the last one standing, because they always have deep teams. They always have some no-name dude like that comes out.
Even if the Patriots still win that Super Bowl, if Brandon Cooks catches that touchdown, it changes the whole perception of Jared Goff. And they may not have been so quick to throw him in the Matt Stafford deal.
Right.
They may not have been so quick to part with Jared Goff at all. It could have changed the complexion of that game, which could have changed the trajectory of Jared Goff's career. And we might not even see him in a Lions uniform. So that begs the question, what if you were to drop Matt Stafford in this current Detroit Lions team? Would the Goff haters say we're going to the Super Bowl?
Well, probably. They would probably say, but here's the thing is I'm one of the believers that they didn't need to trade for Stafford. Goff would have won that Super Bowl with Von Miller and Aaron Donald. He would have scored on one of 6 possessions at the end of the game to win. I believe that.
Yeah, I don't know.
You think he would have been 0 for 6? He would have been 0 for 6.
I don't care what kind of Goff homer you are. If there's no denying that Matt Stafford has better arm talent than Jared Goff.
Okay, that's fair.
Talent we've ever seen.
That's fair.
Some of those throws he made to Cooper Kupp, I will tell you, I don't believe Jared Goff could make them.
Well, here's a straight fact that Jared Goff manages the game better than Matt Stafford.
Who cares?
I care because here's the thing is like that arm talent for 1 or 2 throws in a game is 1 or 2 plays in a game. That's good, right? That arm talent, but I need somebody that's going to manage the other 98 plays. I need somebody that's going to not take chances, because you want to play that. What do you call that? Transference of property. How about that San Francisco safety dropping Matt Stafford's interception that would have sealed his fate? He threw it right to him.
Yeah, and if that guy would have caught that interception and the Rams didn't go to the Super Bowl, we'd be talking about how the Lions fleeced the Rams. And we won that trade hands down. But because the Rams got that trophy, they are the clubhouse leaders in that trade right now. Tell us what you think. Put it in the comments. Do you think that Matt Stafford trade was the turning point for the Lions? Or did the Lions win this trade already?
Yeah. Well, I got my funky guy he agrees with you. My funky YouTube guy. Hold on 1 second. I gotta plug in this. This bad boy. Where am I at? I gotta find my thing.
I don't think there's any question, Russ. If that guy from San Francisco didn't drop that interception, the Rams didn't go to the Super Bowl, everyone around the league and in the world would be saying how badly the Lions won that trade.
Right.
And and I agree that the Rams have won the trade because they got that ring. They got
did.
That trophy.
But the thing that's not fair in the trade is the fact that we did get 2 first-round draft picks, and I think the quarterbacks are so similar. They're not similar in ability, but they're similar in the way that they were talked about before the trade. Like Jared Goff and Matt Stafford were in the same type of category. Actually, Jared Goff was ahead of him, especially during the Super Bowl time, right? A lot of people were saying that they wish they had Jared Goff, right? And it's crazy to me how small of a distance there is between like somebody being very successful and not being very successful. So I don't know. This is all subjective. I do believe that Jared Goff could have won that Super Bowl for sure with that defense. If you could have switched them out, it's possible that they wouldn't. I mean, I'm not saying it's a slam dunk that Goff is there, because I do believe that in that Tampa Bay game, not in the Super Bowl, but in the Tampa Bay game where he took out Brady, I do believe he made a couple throws in that game that Goff couldn't have, but not in the Super Bowl.
Right.
I think that Goff. Right. Go ahead.
And I also believe that Cooper Kupp is not going to have a historic receiving year the way he did either.
Right. And he's and Stafford has had the privilege of playing with 2 of the great wide receivers of our time. I mean,
here's a great question. Is Matt Stafford a Hall of Famer?
I mean, I think that he's made the strong enough case. I mean, I think at this point it would be a numbers thing, but I mean, he's got the Super Bowl. I would say, yeah, he's a Hall of Famer. I mean,
it's not right to put Megatron in and not put Stafford in. He's the guy that threw him all them balls.
Well, yeah, and he actually has a Super Bowl.
Right.
So, I mean, yeah, right. I think it would be a very harsh disjustice if they didn't put Matt Stafford in. I mean, I wouldn't mind if he didn't do the first ballot. I don't think that he's like, yeah, first ballot Hall of Famer, but I think he'll get in for sure.
Yeah, but winning a Super Bowl doesn't ensure you're enshrined in Canton. Trent Dilfer will never make it to Canton, and he won a Super Bowl.
Yeah, but Trent Dilfer never threw for $5,000 either. So,
true.
I mean, so we're looking here. Let's go through some of these comments. Thank you, Crystal. What's good? Packers winning the division. Oh, she's a Packer fan. But I do appreciate you jumping on to the YouTube channel. I think that you're probably on Bill the Packer Fans YouTube channel. Thank you for watching us. Lions says Sherwood, Goff and Hooker. She likes that. That's the thing. It's like we got Goff on our team, but here's the thing. Here's the thing is when Hooker actually gets in there and gets his chance, you guys are fucked. Yeah. And not only are you guys effed, I'll say that. I won't drop 2 F-bombs in there. Not only are you guys effed, but we're going to get paid for it. Number 1 Funky Lion fan says, funny, no one cried about Joe. Okay. I think I went back too far, but I did get a couple comments that I missed. Okay. Sarah, I'd worry about the O-line more than having a number 1 wide receiver. I think that we're having an argument within our fans here. Delray, thank you for joining the broadcast. I love Stafford, but Goff is an overall better quarterback and fits us better. I still have a ton of love for Stafford, though. I am with you, brother. That's it right there.
You got to love Stafford. I mean, he gave it all. He left it all out on the field. And this state,
and he didn't leave like a punk either.
No, he left graciously.
It's my quarterback.
Yeah, I mean, what a class act, what a competitor. I'll never forget that game when he got slammed to the turf with a dislocated shoulder, went back in to win the game. I mean, the guy just laid it all out on the line every single week for us. He played through injury every single week, it seems like. And he had our respect and our love here in Detroit. And that's why you saw all this ridiculous Detroit Rams stuff. But I'm not one of those guys. I'm not going to wear a Rams Lions jersey, right? He left. He was traded. He's now the enemy. And we thank you, Matt Stafford, for everything you did for Detroit. But goodbye.
Right? And I have no problem with that. I got my Matt Stafford graphic. I threw this up as a post. I think it was yesterday. But what are your thoughts on this man? Few years removed from the trade. What your thoughts? And our thoughts is we still have a lot of love and respect for Stafford. Like I'm not unhappy that he won a Super Bowl, but I'm not going to count it like it's my Super Bowl or something. I mean,
right.
that doesn't belong to us. If you're a Detroit Rams fan, stay over with the Rams. Because I don't care. I'm not like a Matt Stafford fan so much that I'm going to start liking the Rams for that. That means that you are a divided fan, and I don't even know why I'm saying that, because you're probably not watching a football show with a talking head in the middle of July.
Well, I mean, one of the best memes I saw last year was them ragging on the Lions, and they showed a meme of us hanging a banner that said our old quarterback won a Super Bowl. I thought that was funny.
Well,
that was a great slam on those fans that are, Rams fans now that they got Stafford. That's just ridiculous.
And that's fine. And we have been bad so long in Detroit that there's actually 3 fan bases within. We got our Lion lovers, and then we have our Lion like passive people that are they're waiting, they're waiting for the bandwagon. And then there's the SOL, we have anti-Lion fans. Like, they live in Detroit and they actually get joy out of us losing. Like, it's like a win. Oh yes, SOL wins again. Yay. And it's a weird dynamic. And I hate those people, but they actually have the right. You do have the right. I don't have to like you, but you do have the right to feel SOL. You do. We get scared of it here. We call it PTSOL here on this program. Post-traumatic same old Lions. You're just waiting for the bottom to drop out. You're just waiting for Lucy to pull the ball out and gonna land on my ass again. Here we go. When this stuff starts happening, Jameson Williams stuff, people start calling him a bust because you're just used to SOL. If you think that he's a bust already, then you're suffering from PTSOL. Because the dude has touched the ball like 5 times and scored 3 times. And like, the guy's got it. He's just, is it going to be a bust? I don't know. I think he's got to play first. I don't think he's got like a gambling problem. He got busted and he's going to pay for it. That's PTSOL.
Okay, so here's a question for you. You get to pick one receiver, Russ, and here's your choices. Are you ready?
I am ready.
Are you ready?
Yes.
You get to pick one receiver of these 4. Romeo Doubs, Darnell Mooney, KJ Osborne, or Jameson Williams.
Jameson Williams.
Oh, but he's a bust. Why would you rather take him than those guys?
He's not a bust. He has the highest upside. He's the fastest guy out of all those guys. He can run every route. He's a football player, man. Like, if you watch Jameson Williams on any highlight, okay? And you can see what he can do. You can see what he did in the NFL. You saw how fast he did that end around. KJ Osborne can't do that. Darnell Mooney can't do that. Who is the other guy? Romeo Doubs? My God, he's a 4th round draft. He was awful last year. I don't even know why they like this guy. He caught a couple touchdown passes, but his PFF grade was like some of them were in the 40s. Come on, man. Yeah. He wasn't good.
Go back and look at those touchdown grabs. Aaron Rodgers put back shoulder throws right on the money.
Yeah.
He caught those passes in self-defense.
Let's see. All right, here's a dumb question right here. There are no dumb questions on this show because we are the home of bad takes, so we can't. Everything that we say is probably dumb. So, Jason, thank you for the comment. Dumb question. You think Dan Skipper make it back on the team. And you want to handle that one first, or can I get it?
Sure. I think Dan Skipper, the same thing happened last year. He gets brought into the office, let go, put on the practice squad, and then 2 weeks later there's an injury and he's back.
You like that? Yeah.
You like that?
That's a great take, Mike. Yeah, I don't think he's gonna make the team. I don't even know if he's gonna make the practice squad. I think that they've done a great job at bringing in nice pieces, and they just drafted this
Colby Sorsdahl from William and Mary.
Colby.
And Colby was a 5-year starter, an academic All-American, a team captain, and his team, William and Mary, though they are Division II, or excuse me, they're an Ivy League school, they finished as 7th in the entire nation in sacks allowed and 5th in the nation in run blocking. So he was the captain of one of the best offensive line units in the country. And this kid might be a total Brad Holmes gem. And I think, barring something crazy, I don't think Dan Skipper's going to make the team with Graham Glasgow now there. And Holly Baduda coming back. I don't think there's room for Skipper at the beginning of the season. If no one picks him up, he will be back on the Lions by the end of the season. Great comment, though.
Yeah, I like that, Jason, and I hope that answers the question right there. And it's a good problem to have. That's what I'm going to add to that. Is him not making the team is a good thing because of us getting younger and the fact that Brad Holmes I think he's making really, really good decisions. You know, you get Haloti Pooty Vaitai. I had to work on that. Haloti Pooty Vaitai. He did not let a sack in the last time that he played a season. He has not let a sack in since 2020. So if you don't think that he's going to impact this offensive line, then if he doesn't, it's just because he's done. Like his body won't be able to do it. But the last time that he played at an extremely high level. And that's a good problem. Then you get Glasgow. Glasgow actually plays all 3 of the interior positions. So he's going to provide depth. And Colby plays inside and outside. He can play tackle. And they're probably going to cross-train him at guard. And he'll be able to be the swing tackle that Dan Skipper was. So I like that call. That's a good call right there. Kareem Jackson, thank you. Thank you for the comment. And he says, sometimes I want a number 9 to just take the friggin' check down. Granted, his arm is generational, but positive yards is still great. That's a great comment. You got anything on that?
That's a great comment. He nailed it. I mean, that's the knock on Stafford. He forced throws because his team was usually behind, and he was trying to do too much all the time.
Yep.
And I think that's what that's the major change that McVay gave him was, look, we have a great offensive line. You don't have to run for your life. Take the check down. You've got Cooper Kupp, and look at the route tree. If you ever see a graphic of Cooper Kupp's route tree, it is insane.
Right.
So he had definitely a different approach when he went to LA, and I think Kareem nailed it with that comment. For God's sake, just take the check down and live to fight another day. Every game, it seemed like Stafford would throw one bad interception, or at least every other game he'd throw a bad one. Like not just an interception where the DB made a great play. No, he'd throw a bad one.
Bad.
And he still finished with more interceptions than Jared Goff last year. So.
Yeah, and Jared Goff in this offense, and this is, you have to give a big shout out to Ben Johnson and how they put the offense together. Is, Goff is a check down type of guy. So what does Brad Holmes do? He goes out, grabs a bunch of dudes that can break tackles. We want short yards. We want to get the ball out of his hands quickly and let our skill players go out there. You got Gibbs. Now you got Amon-Ra. You got Sam Laporta. Like, and I know, and I love how the other fan bases dismiss these guys. Well, they're rookies. You can't expect. Absolutely, we're going to expect out of these guys. That was the design of Brad Holmes the whole time. It's not those guys you got to worry about. It's our big dudes. They're going to come and they're going to move you out of the way. You got nothing in the NFC North. There's no Packer. There's no the Packers defensive line, Vikings defensive line, Chicago's defensive line. You're going to get moved. You don't got anybody that's going to stand up. Frank Ragnow, Penei Sewell, Taylor Decker. Like, Jahmyr Gibbs gets to just, play the matrix in that. Use his speed.
I bet no one is licking their chops more than David Montgomery.
Yeah, or anybody that runs behind the offensive line that gets a run. Even Amon-Ra on one of them end rounds. He'll run too. We got our own little Deebo Samuel on our team, Sarah says, our offense is set up for the rookie QB to come in and succeed. He won't be walking into a terrible situation with no talent to develop him. Love it.
What a great comment.
Yeah, I love it that we have knowledgeable female fans out there. Kudos to you for being on a football podcast in the middle of July. And appreciate it.
Let's break that comment down, though. I mean, that's absolutely spot on.
Right on.
He has the same measurables as Jared Goff. He has a high football IQ. So he's going to be able to step right in. Other than the number on his jersey, there isn't going to be much of a difference between him, except that he's more mobile, he's more escapable, he can throw the ball farther. But other than that, he basically is Jared Goff. He will fit seamlessly into this offense.
Right. It's like having a mobile, I like that. A mobile golf. That would be crazy. Yeah. When Goff takes off and starts running, I'm telling you, I will agree with all the Goff haters. That is not a pretty sight, watching Goff take off and run. I remember
he looks like a newborn baby giraffe.
I remember last year when he had that, he called it, they asked him, they were like, hey, what did you think about that 11-yard run? He's like, it was a 12-yard run. Like, he was very sure to make sure that they had that correct, that it was 12 yards, not 11. Oh God, that is a great comment. Thank you for the comment, Sarah. And he isn't walking into a terrible situation. That's what's beautiful. It's like we get a reset button two years down the road where we get to have Brad Holmes managing a rookie contract. And that just means you're going to be able to get stronger at other places, and there's a lot of people that we're going to have to pay coming up here because we got some good players that he drafted. Amon-Ra, Jonah Jackson, Penei Sewell. They're coming up. They're going to get the money, right? We want to sustain this.
And then the year after that, you're going to have to pay Aiden Hutchinson in the other class.
And that's what I want to prepare Lion fan for, right? Next year, we do not go out into free agency anymore and grab just the best guy that that we can pay a 5-year deal. We don't play like that no more. There ain't no more playing.
Stop playing with us.
We ain't playing like that no more. You're going to see them use that $70 million next year and possibly get the Jonah Jackson and the Amon-Ra extensions done with that money. Like, you're going to see us in-house extending these players. You're not going to see us go out and get, whatever big DeAndre Hopkins, we were tossing that around. I'm with you guys on that. I'm done with these rumors. And
I haven't given up. I haven't given up on DeAndre Hopkins yet. Until he signs somewhere, we have enough money. We are a contender. It would be a great fit out there at the X receiver. I love DeAndre Hopkins coming to Detroit. I don't believe it'll happen, but I haven't given up hope.
Yeah, I don't believe it and I don't want it. I've decided that I don't want it because I love the fact that our stuff is in-house. And he's an outsider, Michael. He's an outsider.
Yeah,
he don't know.
But what if it's a 1-year deal with all the cap money we have left?
It would be too much money because I'm not going to pay $24 million to a freaking wide receiver.
No. They say he's asking for 15, which is less than OBJ got. He's better than OBJ. So I think he's getting a steal at 15. But that's what I heard on satellite radio, that he was asking for 15 a year for a 3-year deal. But so what if we gave him 18 mil a year on a 1-year deal, kind of like what we did to Gardner Johnson, where he turns down a bigger 3-year to take a 1-year big deal? Let
Holmes cook. Just let him cook, man. Like, I mean, we think that we need him, but we got Sam Laporta. We got Amon-Ra St. Brown. We got Josh Reynolds, Khalif Raymond. Marvin Jones. Like I said, we have a number one bona fide superstar elite wide receiver and a bunch of number 3s. And it's okay. And I think Sam Laporta is probably the best wide receiver out of the rest of them. And he's going to show that in here because they ain't lining him up and teaching him blocking schemes. Do you know why? Because he ain't going to be blocking. That's Brock Wright's job. He's going to be a receiver that lines up in the tight end position. You ain't going to see him out there. You may see him chip people, but they're cross-training him at X, Y, slot, tight end. He's a 6'4", 240-pound receiver. That's what he is.
Yes, but I'm going to tell you, Russ, the track record for rookie tight ends is not good.
Right, if they play tight end.
Very, very, very rarely do rookie tight ends come out and make an impact in their first year.
If they play tight end. If this kid comes out and he's running the route tree, Brock Wright proved himself. James Mitchell behind him. Those are two quality guys that know what's going on. Sam Laporta is getting unleashed. Jahmyr Gibbs is getting unleashed. You know what I'm saying? Like, these guys were brought in to make plays. Sam Laporta was drafted because he breaks tackles better than any tight end, or actually better than any of the pass catchers in the draft. That's why he got picked up. He didn't get picked up to chip block. He's not going to be playing the traditional tight end. That's why I think that he's still going to have, I would say if the over and under on his receiving yards is 700, I would take the over.
This year?
This year. Year one, he will have more than 700 yards receiving.
Well, I can promise you over under will be lower than 700. So if you're not confident, jump on that. I know you don't gamble, but I gamble on your picks. So if you feel that strong, maybe I'll go against the trend and bet on a rookie tight end.
I'm just saying, when it comes with, you know how fantasy football is. Let's transition this here. So when you go fantasy football, you're talking about volume. You want to talk about how many targets are your guys going to get, right? So maybe Sam Laporta, like, he's in a situation where I believe that they are going to target him, 8 to 10 times a game because he's a playmaker. And 8 to 10 times a game translates, how they run the fantasy football stuff, is he's going to produce as a pass catcher. Now, he may get less usage in that. I could be wrong on that. I'm not saying, but the way that they're showing in practices and the things that I have read, Laporta is going to be used as a pass catcher. And I think I got one funky Lions fan agrees with me. Laporta will be a tight end in name and pay only. That's an interesting caveat you threw on there. See what he did there?
It is because the wide receiver market is just booming, exploding right now for what they got to pay wide receiver. So you get wide receiver value at tight end cost, because the tight end position also has exploded in the last few years, but it is plateaued, it's leveled off, and we now have a really good grasp of what tight ends get paid. And who's got this tight end room? I know that the Vikings are going to say that they do, because they have T.J. Hawkinson, be the single best tight end right now in the division.
Yeah, we give him that.
Collective room, I'd probably have to give it to the Bears with Robert Tonyan and Cole Kmet. That's a pretty good tight end room.
Right. But I do believe when you were looking at upside, because whenever it comes in with a lot of this stuff, this is projection, right? He's never caught a ball. But I think that we could challenge for the best tight end room by the end of the year. I think that's going to be something because, like, you look at something like, that long, like the Brock Wright pass that he took last year. When you put that same play into like a guy like Sam Laporta and what he can do, I mean, you're going to see a lot more touchdowns in those spots. And as good as I think Jamal Williams played last year, running off of Frank Ragnow is a cool thing to have, right? David Montgomery does more after he has the ball in his hand than Jamal Williams does. I'm not ripping on Jamal Williams. Jamal Williams is a good running back. He's going to do fine in New Orleans, but he's a one-cut back. There's the hole. Hit the hole, get as many yards as you can, and then you're going to get tackled. David Montgomery is the guy who will break tackles on the second level. He led the league in broken tackle rate. So this is a dude that's going to get a chance to run behind Frank Ragnow and Penei Sewell. And I think he's
Russ, I got to jump off.
So
I got to jump off.
Time for you to plug the show.
Thanks for having me on. Yeah, thanks for having me on. Be sure to join us every Monday night, 7 p.m. Eastern time. It's the NFC North Open Mic. We do a lot of trash talking and a lot of football analysis. Thanks for having me on, Russ. Have a great day.
All right, then. That was Main Event Mike. Yep, he's my partner in crime. Here we are, Detroit Lions Villain Squad. And he's hitting that NFC North Open Mic. Yeah, we're not as tame as we are on here. We're not as tame. Where if you want to get that trash talking in, you got a good trash talking take. Monday nights is the spots for that. And I love that you guys are in here. I love that you guys are in here in the comments, like Kareem says, Funky Lions fans, that would be great if Lions could get their third or fourth and maybe player. That may end up happening. I think that, more play action in the red zone for Laporta. Jamal Williams set us up for that. I don't want to take anything away from Jamal Williams, but Jamal Williams got to run behind this offensive line. Okay, guys? These guys move people out of the way. So Montgomery's going to be fine at that. He's a big back. I don't think that he's going to, rush for 1,500 yards or be like Aaron Jones or anything like that. But I think David Montgomery is going to be a nice bell cow back. I think he'll get 15, 20 carries on games. And I think that you're going to see Jahmyr Gibbs more used in the pass catching. I think that you're going to see Gibbs and David Montgomery out there a lot at the same time. Kareem Johnson, looks like that you're calling somebody out. Are you saying Laporta isn't good? That would be dumb. Why would you say Laporta isn't good? Who's saying Laporta isn't good? I'm saying Laporta is great. I think Sam Laporta has a lot of upside, and to the point that Main Event Mike was making before he got off, and I think it was the one Funky Lions fan, is you're gonna use him as a pass catcher. These pass catchers are asking for $30 million a year. That's a lot of your cap to eat up. Well, tight ends don't make that much. I mean, maybe by the time Laporta's ready to get paid, the tight ends will be getting more, but you can get good production out of a receiving tight end. In OTAs, he didn't practice blocking. Okay, so or at least of what they saw, he wasn't. They saw him lined up in the X. They saw him lined up in the Y. They saw him lined up in the slot, catching passes all over the place. They're going to use this guy different. One Funky Lions fan. Laporta's a beast. Dude doesn't have the numbers in college, but I can't name a college quarterback or wide receiver. And that is a great point. you know, Iowa is known for their defense. I'm a Big Ten fan, so I've watched a lot of Iowa games, and they play defense. They win a lot of games 7-3. And he had no quarterback. As a matter of fact, he was their offense. He actually took some snaps at quarterback. Sam Laporta did. Wildcat style, but he could throw the ball. He played quarterback in high school. So Laporta's a beast. He was the best tackle breaking tight end to come out of college. There's no doubt in my mind that they want to get the ball out of Jared Goff's hands fast, because the Lord knows, as a Lions fan, we don't want to see Jared Goff outside the pocket with his happy feet looking like small hands Goff. We want to see Goff nice and protected right in the pocket. Goff actually moves really well in the pocket. He understands blocking schemes. He understands when to step up in the pocket and make a throw. He's very clutch when things are going in the way they're supposed to as far as schemes. He can move up into the next mode. He can read his progressions. But it starts getting bad when the protection isn't there. But that's why we spent $100 million on the line, guys. Jared Goff can be good. Wow. Hendon Hooker is marinating. Says, oh, okay, my bad. You're hopefully right, dude. He's got some wiggle for sure. Yeah. Yeah, his QB was cheeks. Sam was the offense. If he had just one competent quarterback, yeah. And that's why it's such a steal, because you're not going to go and look and see a bunch of great tape on what Sam Laporta is, right? This kid is a leader. He's got a little bit of a swagger to him. And, you know, a 250-pound dude running a 4.5 40. I mean, that's somebody with a skill set, right? Goff could have a wide receiver or a tight end screen right out there. He's the type of dude that can, you know, turn a little screen into a 15, 20-yard gain or more. George Kittle was giving him some props because he worked out with him. Said he's got that special kind of thing. But this has been a great conversation today. As always, we've been going over a little bit. And I appreciate, we had some technical difficulties earlier. I'm sorry about the people that couldn't have the comments. And I'm hoping that the people that were on the other streaming platforms didn't have as much of a problem. If you wanted to get on, I'm sorry. I'm going to try to fix some of this stuff. And we'll see where we can go from there. So I am Russell Wayne. This has been the phone sessions today. You know, brought to you by WTHisautism.com. We're trying to raise some awareness here for autism. I have a 4-year-old autistic son, and most people don't know about autism. So if you want to find out about that, go to www.WTHisautism.com. Thank you very much for joining us today. Thank you for all the comments in there. Going back through, let's go back through there. The One Funky Lions fan, Kareem, Sarah, Curtis, and Ryan. Thank you for making your comments. Thank you for making us part of your mornings, talking a little bit of football in July. Join us Tuesdays through Friday, 11 a.m., talking this NFC North. God bless you guys. Have a blessed rest of the day. One Pride.